Good day to you, beautiful people. I thought I'd come on and share some messages for the month of June. What was coming through when I was tuning in is that there's going to be a tremendous wave of transformation that is really like cresting at our doorsteps in June, and something luminous in the air, an emotional richness that's building here. The kind of richness that signals new beginnings that are not vague ideas, but inevitable truths that are ripening. So gentle nudges from the universe here. It feels somewhat like a serenade, but at the same time, it's like a profound cooling, like a bugle call. There's metamorphoses here too, all rounded into this, and it's a powerful month. Spirit was speaking of something exceptional here in June, and with regards to a union of purpose and passion that's waiting to be claimed, and that we're not being asked to listen to our inner calling, we're being asked to sing it out, to like loud and clear, and be really real, authentic, live loud with your purpose here. There's also a sense of romance in the energy in June, and not just in a relational sense. It may not be in a relational sense. It could be your life in the sense of you kind of falling back in love with your path. So with this romantic energy, as I was mentioning earlier, about kind of like the serenade, it's like almost like life serenading you being serenaded by your own future. And it's time to open the window and let the music in, is what Spirit is saying in June. There's a beckoning here into greater self-expression, and it's like life begins to court you again. So beautiful energies with that. What was standing out most, it's like what makes the moment kind of unique, is the raw beauty of the transitions that we're moving through. And so you're stepping out of an old skin and the butterflies emerging, and it's not fragile. It's like it's been forged in silence in unseen spaces, and now it spreads radiant wings and announces itself to the world. And there's a sense here of it being, it's not an external call that you've been hearing here. It's you calling yourself home, and to trust that inner calling. So June holds a leap of faith moment. It's that step into the greater unknown. And there's going to be uncertainties. There always is in life, but don't let the voice of hesitation get louder than the voice of your soul, is one of the strong messages here. And also, this is the Fool's journey, so reflecting with the tarot here, it's the Fool in the best sense, in a sense like free, alive, like crackling with potential, and the wind being at your back, the sun rising on new adventures here. So an optimistic energy there with June, and new beginnings, and transformation as well. And the transformation isn't just about external movement. It's mirrored internally in emotional and spiritual layers. Like we're stepping into deeper communion with ourselves, and guided by our inner compass. There's been a recalibration that's been happening for months now, and maybe some of us have been feeling a little bit disconnected from our intuition lately, or questioning it, doubting it. It's your intuition hasn't left you. What's coming through here is that it's been preparing you to trust in it more deeply than ever. And June is going to be a month that really builds that trust between you, your intuition, and with the universe, with your life, with your path, with your purpose. So much of this month revolves around healing, and that's healing wounds of the heart. There's a sense our hearts are being kind of gently rinsed with light, this beautiful energy that feels kind of subtle, almost like these past heartbreaks or relationships where communications faltered. These are being healed, and in a gentle way, the light rinsing that, clearing the energy. Also a gathering of minds, of hearts, and This can be physically, it can be energetically, but ideas flowing like poetry and clarity beginning to really settle. So look to those groups which you can be a part of, communities, gathering with others, whether seen or unseen, and awaiting something profound to be exchanged in that. And it's not just ideas, but a sense of belonging and being truly seen. Sacred spaces here being highlighted that are calling us both within and without. A sense here that beauty in silence and inspired moments of revelation that can be, life-changing, world-changing for you. So allow for those moments of solitude where you can dive deep. Spirit was saying that the world around may not look entirely different on the surface, but that beneath it, something profound is unfolding. And there could be a cafe conversation that changes your mind in some way, or a garden walk that reveals a new dream. There's something's unfolding here. Maybe it's a quiet moment alone, like I said, where you're in solitude, where a download arrives, and it's just like starlight to your soul, and simple, stunning, undeniable. But these energies are coming in June, and it's a real sense here to allow for the flow. Not all of it's going to flow effortlessly, and that's okay. There are going to be times and places where things feel like we're going in circles, and you might think at times, have I been here before? But what you're being asked to do is, with these kind of repeating patterns, they're not traps, they're invitations to pivot and to do things differently, to move with wisdom instead of reaction. And to take that with you in June. Tell yourself, there are going to be these cyclical moments, and how are you going to respond when you fall into those patterns? There can be a certain level of emotional exposure too at times in June, moments where you kind of feel like you're naked, exposed, kind of bathing in moonlight with no covering. There's a sense here of that vulnerability being grace. It's in its rawness, its authenticity. It's almost a risk, you could say, to take. Requires strength to be so open, so vulnerable, and so to kind of see that as courage in a way. There, it's also this kind of, through that opening, through that vulnerability, through that kind of spaciousness that you open, it allows deep love to rush in. So you are being asked to trust the universe, and to trust yourself, and to trust the song that's rising in your heart. Let that be known. On a spiritual level, the lesson here is clear. We're being asked to speak our truth, and in the same way as we're being called to sing our song, it's this expression that is being asked of us, and to strike when the moment arises, to let your fire rise in you, and it's time to stop waiting for permission externally, or validation, or anything outside of yourself. Start honoring the divine contract your soul wrote long ago, and move from that. You don't need to explain your journey to anyone, especially not to those who can't see your vision. So what matters most in June is that you see your vision, and that you follow it step by step. And we're being given divine support through that. New lines of communication, spiritual, intuitive, even technological, these are all opening up at this time. And June's going to be, a profound month when that opens up even more. So moments of deja vu, or those dreams that just won't leave you alone, or thoughts, those coincidences that are too perfect to be chance, they're all signs, all yeses. And Spirit is giving us, a green light and a big thumbs up. They're saying that we're building something, and it's what we're building is bridging something that once perhaps felt impossible. Maybe it's a relationship in your life, or a creative pursuit, a purpose, but Or maybe it's a belief, something you had about yourself that had dimmed. But there's a bridge forming and you just have to keep walking, is what Spirit's saying. And we're also saying not to allow distractions to get in the way. And these distractions may come dressed as security or comfort zones. It's like, it might feel like a nest, but it keeps you from flying. And so watch out for the allure of stagnation or of staying small to like, kind of stay safe in a way there. So be mindful of grandiosity too. But it's like you don't need to be loud, you just need to be real, is what Spirit's saying. The action required of us is quite simple but profound. We're being asked to check our charge. Are we drained, or are we just pouring energy into places that no longer yield fruit? And tend to your energy field, recharge in nature, rest in music, let your spirit be re-inspired, and then when the time feels right, go. Like I said, Spirit is giving us the green light. Just make sure you are fully charged before setting out on that journey. You want a full tank, right? They say that we're walking up steps covered in clover, that each step there are signs of grace, and that good fortune is growing quietly here, surely, and waiting to meet your movement. So at the same time, check your charge, but make sure you are refueling. You don't want to wait too long. June is a month for movement. Ultimately, where's this all leading in June? And continuing there with the kind of car analogy, we're going into the tunnel here, but there is a new chapter here that it's not needing to begin with fireworks. It begins with faith and with a moment of trust, and we're entering a space of deep evolution here. And at times it may feel like nightfall, but it's actually the birth canal, and what's happening here is we're being moved to our next becoming, and you're being asked to keep moving forward. The light is coming, and as it does, you're not alone. There's a love waiting for you, a partnership perhaps, or it's a deeper, more intimate relationship with life itself that I was speaking to at the beginning, that kind of sense of being serenaded by life, or maybe it is serenaded by another in your life, but there's definitely this romance awakening, and you're walking kind of potentially like a secluded path at times, but with someone or something sacred beside you, and it's leading you straight to the diamond, that sacred uncut brilliance of who you truly are, and it's just beginning to be shaped here. And June is a month of becoming. It's a month of that shaping, that refining, but also believing and blooming in silence, and singing when your voice shakes, and trusting in the process through June, even if you're only at the beginning of the cut. And some of us definitely are, not everybody here. But this energy is being it's refining us, and it's going to allow us to sparkle brighter, friends. Remember that you're not meant to do it all, and you're not meant to do it from a place that feels overwhelming, or a place that's trying to control everything. You're not meant to do this from the head. You're meant to do this from the heart, and your soul coming through that. It's not about structure for structure's sake in June. It's about embodied power, and that power is soft and sacred and grounded. And so as June unfolds, Spirit's asking you to let yourself unfold with it. Let the serenade touch your soul. Let the bugle call summon your courage, and let the butterfly fly free. They're saying here, above all, remember you're exactly where you're meant to be, and to trust this unfolding process. June looks to be an awesome month. Wishing you an amazing month. Enjoy June, friends. Lots of love. Take care.